would say this to introverts all the time as well. I know if you're introverted, it can seem very daunting and stuff, but for certain aspects of your life, like women, like job interviews, being confident and being extroverted certainly helps. And I do believe it's something you can learn. You don't have to be a full-time psycho. You haven't be the center of attention, but to learn to speak confidently and learn to be just arrogant enough to be believable, I think it's something everyone can put practice into and learn. I learned it. Like, I know it was semi-natural to me, but I learned, I literally sat and thought, how can I come across as so fantastic they have to hire me? Like, it was conscious thought. I mean, I realized that humble is not the way. It was never the way. It was just blow out. Like we talked about Conor McGregor earlier. Look what he did in his fight career by just running his mouth. There's a whole bunch of fighters with better records than him, but they didn't talk enough. So there's a whole bunch to be said. I think you need to be able to turn on the extroversion when you need it, but you have to be socially aware. Obviously not when you don't need it, but when you do need it, it's there, you know? So it's all good. It's just a skill, another skill to put in the box. You got to have as much as possible and something you can drag out when you need it.
The biggest mistake people make on earth is usually language related. The first thing is the way they orate. Even these phone calls, most of you cannot speak. You cannot speak concisely. You cannot speak correctly. It's ah, it's You're not going to get very far in life if you cannot translate the ideas inside of your mind into the ideas of someone else's mind in a succinct manner. So you need to practice speaking. Most of you can't even speak English. And I mean that. I do not consider you. I do not consider you English speakers. It's so bad. That's the first thing. The second thing is to be very, very careful with the words you use. Don't use the word if unless you mean it. I take that as an insult. I take that as a direct attack. So either you directly attacked me or you're imprecise with your language and it was an accident, both of which are unprofessional.
When did you start getting good at debating people?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but I do certainly watch all of my podcasts back. I watch myself back. I think if you're going to be speaking for a living, you should be good at it. It actually amazes me how many people do podcasts and are still sitting around going, like that's your fucking job, bro.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being a fighter and just messing up and getting hit with every jab, like a dummy.
Yeah.
Like if that's your job, then practice. Like
watching yourself back is huge for fighting. I watch all my rounds back. I watch all my back. It's the best way to reflect on what's actually happening.
Completely. You have to analyze yourself. So if I have a debate and I thought it was tricky, I'll certainly watch it back and I'll realize where I made a mistake or where I could have done better, etc., etc. So I watch all my own stuff. But I've always been pretty good at speaking. I've always had a big mouth, you know, so I've always been pretty good at it and pretty good at articulating my ideas. But I think the reason that people hate debating against me so much is because they know intrinsically I'm right.